Texans Nation, good morning. Today we're talking about money, opportunity, and a question on every Houston fan's mind right now. The team spent over $90 million revamping the offensive line. They signed a Super Bowl champion safety. They re-signed key defensive players. They made trades, moved the roster around, and showed the entire NFL that they're hungry to go far in 2026. But there's one position that has remained practically untouched this entire offseason. A position that lost an important player and hasn't received any replacement so far. And that position could be the Achilles' heel of this team in 2026 if Nick Caserio doesn't act. I'm talking about the wide receivers, the receivers, the guys who need to be open for CJ Stroud to find when the game is tight in the fourth quarter, with the score tied and 50,000 people screaming in the stadium. And today we're going to talk about 7 names that are still available on the market. 7 veterans who could join the Houston Texans right now and strengthen this group. Some will surprise you, one of them will touch your heart, and you'll want to see at least 2 of them in red uniforms before the end of this video. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell now. We cover every move of the Texans every day. Don't miss out. Let's go. Before discussing the 7 names, it's necessary to understand where this group stands today. The Houston Texans enter the offseason with Nico Collins as their number 1 receiver, without question. Then comes Jaden Higgins in his second year and with a lot of potential. Jalen Noel, young and fast, who was drafted 3rd in the 2025 season and now has a chance to take on a bigger role. Xavier Hutchinson for depth. And Tank Dell, who recovered from a serious injury and could surprise in 2026. This group has youth, it has talent, but it has little accumulated experience. And Christian Kirk, who was the veteran of the group, went to the San Francisco 49ers. So the real question is this group good enough as it is, or do the Texans need to add an experienced name before September? Let's start with the simplest name and work our way up to the one that will give you the most excitement. First name, Curtis Samuel, a veteran of almost 10 years in the NFL. In 2022 and 2023, playing for the Washington Commanders, he had 2 consecutive seasons with over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. Then came the injuries, but when healthy, Samuel is a versatile receiver who can play in several positions on offense. On a cheap contract, to compete for a spot in training camp, it makes perfect sense to at least give him a chance. Second name, Jauan Jennings, 6 feet 3 inches tall, a physical receiver, difficult to bring down after the catch. He played for the San Francisco 49ers in recent years, the very team where DeMeco Ryans worked before coming to Houston. This creates a natural connection. Ryans knows Jennings. He knows what he does well. He knows what he needs to improve. And with the 49ers having signed Mike Evans and Christian Kirk, the space for Jennings in San Francisco has become smaller. Houston can take advantage of this. Third name, Keenan Allen. This name generated a lot of excitement among Houston fans when it started circulating on social media, and rightly so. Allen is one of the most experienced and productive receivers still available on the market. He had a solid season in 2025 with the Los Angeles Chargers. He has the route intelligence that a young quarterback like CJ Stroud needs around him, and he would probably accept a short, team-friendly contract. This is a name Houston should be seriously considering right now. Fourth name, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. 2 Super Bowl rings in his career, 32 years old, 6 of the previous 7 seasons with at least 400 receiving yards. Last season wasn't good, splitting time between the Steelers and the 49ers. But in Houston, with an organized offense and CJ Stroud at the helm, he could bounce back. He's the type of player other teams underestimate, but who knows exactly what to do when the game is on the line. Fifth name, Brandon Cooks. That name will sound familiar to longtime Houston fans. Cooks played for the Texans from 2020 to 2022. He knows the city. He knows the environment. His production has declined in the last 2 years, with just over 200 receiving yards each season. But as a low-cost option for training camp, to assess if he still has something to offer, the risk is minimal, and the knowledge he brings of the franchise can help the younger players around him. Sixth name, Stefon Diggs. This is the most complicated name on the list. Diggs has history with the Texans. He knows the locker room. When healthy and motivated, he's still capable of seasons with over 1,000 yards. But there are 2 serious obstacles. The first is financial. The price would need to be very affordable to make sense. The second is a pending legal situation that would need to be resolved before any contract talks. If these 2 points are resolved, the conversation is worthwhile. If not, Houston needs to move on. And now we come to the 7th name. The one I said would tug at your heartstrings. Texans Nation. The seventh name, DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, the one and only, one of the greatest wide receivers this sport has ever seen. A player who wore the red jersey of the Houston Texans and did things on the field that the fans will never forget. Hopkins is available, and earlier this week, he posted on social media that Houston is and always will be his home. That wasn't by chance. That was a message. A message to Nick Caserio, to DeMeco Ryans, to the Houston fans. This man wants to come back. Now, let's be honest about the real picture. Last season with the Baltimore Ravens wasn't his best in terms of numbers. 330 yards total. Not the Hopkins of his golden years. Not the player who dominated entire games and made cornerbacks look like amateurs. But here's the real argument for bringing him back. Hopkins wouldn't need to be the number one. That role already belongs to Nico Collins. Hopkins would arrive as the third or fourth target, the veteran that CJ Stroud looks for when the game is tough, the receiver who knows how to get open on short and medium passes with over a decade of NFL experience. And there's the human factor. Hopkins returning to Houston would be a celebration. It would be the city welcoming back a son who left and wants to come home. That energizes the locker room. That connects the older fans who experienced Hopkins' best years in Houston with the new generation that is discovering this team now. For a one-year contract, team-friendly, this is a gamble worth discussing. Texans Nation, looking at these 7 names, my honest assessment is as follows. If the Texans want to make an immediate impact signing, Keenan Allen is the most ready name right now. Experience, recent production, and an affordable price. If they want to bet on excitement and what an experienced veteran can bring beyond the numbers, DeAndre Hopkins is the answer the heart desires. And if they want cheap depth with the potential to surprise, Curtis Samuel and Jawan Jennings are the smartest cost-benefit bets. The Texans' current receiving core isn't bad, but adding an experienced veteran alongside Collins, Higgins, and Noel could be the difference between an early playoff elimination and a walk to the Super Bowl. The question for you today is straightforward. If you were Nick Caserio and had to choose one of these 7 names to sign, which would it be? DeAndre Hopkins returning home, Keenan Allen for the experience, or someone else on the list? Leave your comments below. I read them all. Texans Nation always has the most insightful opinions about the team. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Share with that friend who also roots for Houston and needs to know about these options before the draft arrives on April 23rd. Pull up. Houston's wide receivers are about to get a boost, and we'll be here when it happens.